Oh, here now. Go out, Bobby. Go out. He's obviously not very experienced.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shot.
Actually, Milo, you could have called that out. You could have called that out. No, he was back in the line, Jerry, but you could have called that out.
3-4.
I don't know, I got an accelerator and no brakes. We don't call that. Oh, right.
That was a hell of a good shot, Bobby.
Bobby.
Woo!
Hey, get out my man. Oh, like a man. You hit it back.
You got a lot of nerve, Dave.
Yeah, we actually earned one. No, it'll happen. One to go here there.
No, I mean really.
No good thing goes
Jerry, why didn't you put the name on here? So we know who you are.
I already explained that once. I put your name on there because in case I forgot it, I wouldn't have to stumble when I introduced you. I just look and say, I'd like for you to meet Walt Daniel.
My wife went over, a friend of hers, she went over and the wife's got all sorts. There are post-it notes everywhere.
Bobby, you were young.
No,
You gotta write them down in the medium.
a good friend of mine told me something the other day. This guy.
How did he do that?
Just a second.
How did he do that?
That's just like her.
He doesn't either. Great serve. He follows it up with a serve like that.
Stay in there naked? No.
Then I would have remembered. And I couldn't not for the life of them, but you're on
Whoa, good get, Polly.
Oh, that was a great shot. Oh, that'll teach him to pick on you, Wendy. That'll teach him.
I would say that any cricketer that made it into baseball, you're earning a great deal more money than what it would be a cricketer. I've never heard of so much money being paid for baseball.
Well, that's what you get when you don't pay much for your partner.
Television pays so much, so the whole question is, you know, are you going to pay for the players who are doing it, who are performing, or are you going to pay to the owners who are filthy rich to do it?
Yeah, well that's the same as now with soccer.
Yeah, the Glazers.
Now that was cruel.
Manchester United.
That was cruel, Wendy.
I got a couple of grandsons outside of Dallas.
Oh, into it. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a worldwide sport. That's what's happening now. The more and more it's spreading, and the more television is like.
Right.
Players are.
Well, the other thing is the more concussions and injuries that we have in football.
Oh, you're
I'm going to tell you what. There are more mothers now.
turn into soccer.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
and the thing about it, when a kid is a young kid, you know, they're shit. But they all follow. If you watch little soccer, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, the ball goes over there. All the hands go over there. The ball goes over here. They all run over here. You know, they're all shin kickers. And the problem with our little league here is I watch it with my grandson. They're coming up. And here, in fact, I watched one grandson. Coach said to him, you know, he had played, he was a fast kid, and the coach wasn't smart enough to look at the kid, look at his dad, and say, you know what, this kid's going to be a big kid, and he's going to be a good athlete. You know? And so anyway, he had already played the outfield.
all right. The manuscript. Right, good. I've got to learn the rules. I've got to learn the rules. I haven't been here for a while.
Everybody, Vinny,
Yeah.
did you sign this now, Milo? I want you to sign it because Milo questioned whether or not you could write.
I can draw a picture.
Oh dear,
I can draw a picture. Yeah, the school I went to was around.
You never.
Right? You have to sign it that way up.
Eddie, look and see if you're on now.
I sign Woody? Is that right if I sign Woody?
First and last name, please. We're not go-go dancers.
Yeah. Woody's sexual. Woody's sexual.
Don't sign in the box. How come you made such
Oh, is that
a
I've gone.
How's it work? You guys said you're gonna live forever.
How does it work? Press the top down. Right.
Weren't you live in Bailey?
Got it?
Was I live?
He's official.
Okay.
You're not on there? I cannot believe that.
Last year. I think he died in 48.
Vinny Hindley's not on there?
Yeah, Bobby. Thank you.
Anybody else here that didn't sign this thing? Yeah.
Put him over here. I can't write it. I'll come over later. There. You think you're on there, aren't you, Roger? Watch is bigger. Oh, you really down there. Okay, well, I am. The card was, I think we just struck the line. Right, from there. I am
Go big. They're in there as well. Shouldn't be looking at them. Mike Francis.
Everybody ready? I don't really remember how this whole thing started, Vinny. Actually, I don't know how we got started playing together. We were playing in a league out here that Joe Sanchez started up, and we ended up at the top of the league. So when tournament time came, we became partners and played for 8 years in a row without losing any league games or tournaments, I don't think.
There was really bad players at the time.
Yeah, that's true. Somehow at the end of each year, we gave him some kind of gift or joke or something like that. Like, for instance, look right here, Vinny is an American legend. You know, he was a legend last year.
In my own mind.
We made him, one time we made him a Michigan resident, and I tried it in Lansing to get the name of the state changed to Michigan, because that's really what it looks like if you take a look at it. But it didn't go over anyhow. But anyhow, we played from about 2002 to about 2010, something, I don't know, something like that, quite well. Vinny's a story in himself, and I was very lucky to be his partner. Anybody that played with him out there today knows how much fun it is to play with or against them.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah.
Saying that more.
All of his stuff is funny. He's still a great player, although there are better players here now in the villages.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
No,
I shouldn't have said that.
No, I won't blame him. No one to lose. No, I get the village coach down to Freedom Point. Them guys been walkers are tough.
He's got a couple of stories that you guys, some of you have heard before, but it's always good to hear again because of the way he tells them. But first, I'll tell a story about him when he was born. Actually, his father went down to the bar after he was bragging about his son. Now, anybody watched him out there today? How big he is? His arm stretched from side to side, and they asked his dad, "Oh, yeah, the baby is congratulations. How big was he?" And his dad says he's 25 pounds. 25-pound baby, that's amazing. You know, they had a couple of beers. And next week, his father walks into the bar, and the guy buys him a beer, and he says, "Well, what's Vinny weigh now?" He says, 17 pounds. He says, "How do you weigh? 25 pounds down to 17 pounds?" He says, "Yeah, I had him circumcised."
Is that true?
No.
I hope not.
Now, some of you know this, that Vinny grew up, he was very poor. He went to the Army Navy surplus store to buy his clothing, and it was just an awful way to live. But just tell him about your early years.
Well, we was talking about me and Eddie Schultz, and Eddie Schultz said to me, when they was only young, they used to go to the Salvation Army and buy all his clothes. His parents used to buy his clothes from there. And I said, well, that was similar in England. I said, my parents, they went to the Army and Navy store and they bought all my clothes when I was young. I said, for the first 4 years of school, I went as a Japanese general.
Steve, and you've heard that before, but still like it.
Well, if she's not a lady here, then I can tell you, the Avengers, this film that's out now, anyway, this is a joke relating to them, that in this town there was a meeting of all the superheroes, and Captain America is stood there, and all of a sudden the doors burst open, and Superman comes in like this, he's all disheveled in his, and Captain America says, "What's wrong?" He said, I'm flying here to the meeting. He said, he said, I looked down. He said, and on the rooftop, he said, there's Wonder Woman there. He said, she's got no clothes on. She's laying on her back, and her legs are open. And he says, what did you do? He said, well, I just flew down. He said, I bet she got surprised, didn't she? He said, no, half as surprised as the Invisible Man.
I knew it. That was a pretty young joke.
Vinny, tell them how you met your wife.
How I met my wife? Oh, when I was in the bar?
Right.
Yeah. I was walking to the bar to get a drink and I fell over her.
Priceless.
Well, I always know because this is I suppose that's really unfortunate, but in our family, we know more or less exactly when we're going to die. I mean, my father knew the date when he was going to die. The judge told him.
The judge told him.
I know. Yeah. There was a guy in court and he just murdered his wife and he was 85 and the judge said, right, he said, I'm giving you 50 years. He says, I don't think I'll be able to do 50 years. He said, well, do what you can.
Is this copyright? Can I use this one?
Yeah, so anyhow, Vinny was a great squash player over in England before becoming a great pickleball player here. And you were a merchant marine at one time, stopped off in Detroit even.
Yes, I was in the Great Lakes, yeah, up in the Great Lakes. Yeah. It was what my job was, if it moved, oil it. If it doesn't, paint it.
Sounds like a shipyard.
And then eventually he owned a bakery. I think it's probably a pretty large bakery because you supplied all the big grocery chains, did you? In Manchester,
Publix and Winn-Dixie's, yes.
Yeah.
Winn-Dixie?
Same things over in there, yeah. Same companies, they didn't pay you. I remember when I went for my first job, and I said to the guy there, the boss,
You do that for a while while I get a beer.
I said, I'll scrub the floors. I said, I'll clean the toilets. He said, you're aiming too high. I went for one job, and the boss said to me, he said, well, we're looking for somebody who's a hard worker, honest, he said, and consistent. So I said, well, hire me. I said, and I'll help you look.
Damn, that was good. That sounded like Rohan.
Joke time. Next week.
He's going back to England.
Yeah.
So anyhow, back to pickleball. I'd like to hear back to pickleball. Yeah, Vinny had, there are a lot of great athletes in this room, and you know this to be a fact, that you get a chance, if you're lucky, to be on top for a period of time. I think most everybody in this room had a chance to do that, but the thing you remember is that it doesn't last. You don't get to stay there. Nobody has permission to stay there. So, Vinny, this year, you haven't seen him in the paper too much. He's been hurt, he's been ill, and all kinds of things. And so he hasn't showed up too much in pickleball, but I think you turn 70 next year.
69.
69, but I mean...
Close enough. I'm in my 70th year, yeah.
Well, he's 70, right, Stu?
Yeah. He's the only one that I know his birth certificate's in stone.
I'll tell you what, I want Stu to keep showing up because that means I'm number 2.
That's right. That's why I used to tell him.
Three.
I used to tell him, don't you leave the villages, otherwise I'll be the worst player.
Stu's name is close to the box.
No, he told me that he beat you 11-0 one time.
Yeah,
Is
you
that
don't
true?
remember.
I don't remember.
You can tell me the
I
player.
can tell you the partner that I had.
Mike?
He moved back to Wisconsin.
Mike, little Mike, quick Mike, and you were playing with Dave Torres.
I block it out, baby. I just block it out.
I never remember them losses.
The thing is, Stu's at that stage where he remembers a lot of things that nobody else
I know, I believe you. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Vinny. You were playing with me, you didn't lose.
Oh, no, Dave. No. Yeah, yeah.
So anyhow, through this year, playing younger people, so on, I talked to him all the time, never heard him whine, never heard him complain about his partner. It's always just that the other team played better. That's why we lost. So, but I think with good health, he'll probably come back next year. I got to have something for him again, like always.
Oh, God.
Annual.
This is,
Now, you see what he's got here. He's Vinny, American legend. Well, none of the rest of you are American legends. Oh, my. So anyhow, there's a Traverse City Pickleball Association. Now, I've made him a Michigan guy and an American legend and all kinds of stuff. This time I'm making him a Traverse City Pickleball Association. Pickleball player, and that's, most of the girls look like that there. But also, and we all know this for sure, it says on the back, beware, Father Time is undefeated.
yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So we found that out.
All right, well, that's it. Thank you. Welcome to our club. Yeah. Well, this is what we say down at the Slimmers Club. All our problems are behind us.
Put it down. Now you can throw away that Japanese uniform.
Jabu Rush.
Where's the church?
We said, how do you want to go? How do you want to go? And you eventually go. And I said, well, I want to go like my grandfather. If I die, I want to go like my grandfather. He just sat down, he just closed his eyes, and then he just went. I said, not screaming and shouting like all the people that was on the bus he was driving.
I was 9 years old.
Yeah, they don't want to pay him.
He used to be
Just